Breathe it all in. The smell of cigarettes and alcohol, the smell of the interior of the Ubers, and the smell of vagrant urine and feces. The sights and the sounds of the slot machines hitting the jackpot, the screams of the people who just gambled away their life savings, and the joyful sounds of people having fun and enjoying life. Las Vegas, baby. Sin City. The places where your dreams come true or where your dreams come to die. However, this story isn't going to be reading my version of the Hangover movie. My story should serve as a warning to all tourists and locals to tread carefully when considering purchasing a home in the city of sin. My name is Jack Rosenberg. I currently live in the state of Arizona in the city of Phoenix. Cliché, I know. I'm 38 years old and I was just promoted to junior partner in my firm. The promotion came with a hefty bonus along with a $10,000 yearly salary increase. I was, in every sense of the word, set for life. So, to celebrate, I decided to take a week-long vacation to Las Vegas and I booked myself a suite at the Bellagio. After I arrived at my hotel room, I went back downstairs and felt risky, and I tried my luck at the poker and blackjack tables. I lost $300. Lady Luck's a bitch. No matter, I had money to blow. Figuring that I wouldn't lose at my other favorite hobby, drinking alcohol, I wandered over to the bar. I ordered myself a Jack on the Rocks and just enjoyed my time. Not even 15 minutes go by and a lovely young woman seems to have magically materialized in the seat next to me. She greeted me with a firm handshake and I figured, screw it, my girlfriend of 8 years just dumped me. I deserve some female interaction. We got to talking, but it turns out she wasn't interested in me as a potential bad decision, but she saw me as a customer, a client. Her name was Jennifer, and she was apparently a real estate agent. I almost lost interest until she showed me a beautiful house that was in a safer location in Las Vegas. This house was amazing. It was in a cul-de-sac. It had a huge backyard for Sparks, my German Shepherd, to run around, a pool, and a beautifully landscaped front lawn. It had 3 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms with a 3-car garage. The cherry on top was that it was for the low price of $300,000. I could make that up in 3 years. I decided, why the hell not? So, during my stay, instead of enjoying the nightlife, I was too involved with the joys of future homeownership in the city of sin. The paperwork went through surprisingly quickly. Too quick, but I didn't think to care at the time. I called my boss and told her the good news, and she even allowed me to transfer over to the location that was barely a 20-minute drive from my new house. Everything was going according to plan. For about a year. I've been living at my new home for about a year now, and have been living rather comfortably, I may add. That is until one day, my security system went off and my phone went off and gave me a notification during a conference call. When I excused myself to the restroom and checked my phone, there was a notification from my security system app that there was movement in my backyard. This was odd since Sparky was an inside dog until I got home to let him out to stretch his legs or take a dip in the pool. I checked 3 out of the 4 outdoor cameras and nothing was out of the ordinary. That was until I looked at the 4th camera. I was just barely able to make out the back of a woman's bearskin leg wearing a red high heel exit my side gate. I was not able to catch her on the cameras facing the driveway. Thankfully, Sparky was unharmed and sound asleep in my bed. A week goes by, and yet again, my security system goes off. This time, I was able to catch slightly more of the woman with red heels. I caught the back of her body speed walking away. This woman appeared to be of Hispanic descent, or at least a very tan Caucasian. She had dirty blonde hair and was carrying an all-black clutch purse. I think that's what they're called. She was wearing a maroon-colored backless dress, and I could just barely make out the tribal tattoo that was covering her back. Again, she disappeared mysteriously. 3 days go by, and I have to take a sick day. I was feeling rather under the weather. Don't worry, it's not what you think it was. So I stayed home. I don't think this mystery woman was expecting me to be home, because as I was making my hot tea and breakfast, I heard the sounds of high heels outside my front door. I snuck to my bedroom and commanded Sparky to hush. I grabbed my gun and I went back into the kitchen as quietly as I could. But as I'm nearly turning the corner, the front door opens. I tiptoe back to my room and I grab Sparky and we both go into my walk-in closet. Thankfully, the AC was cranked, so Sparky was thankfully not panting as loudly as he did. All I heard was the constant opening and closing of all of my doors, and then my heart nearly sank as I heard her walk into my bedroom. I hushed Sparky once again and I cocked the hammer to my gun. I aimed it at my door and I narrowed my eyes, locking them, and had my arms and hands firm. The doorknob began to turn, but suddenly stopped and it was let go. I heard what I thought to be growling, but it was coming from outside my door. The last thing I heard was a loud whoosh and my front door slammed shut. I checked my interior cameras and there she was. Jennifer, the real estate agent. She was the mystery woman this whole time. I contemplated calling her, but then she would have known that I was the one that heard the growling, and who knows what she might have done. I have never been on edge more than that day, or so I thought. This time, a month goes by without incident, and then I see her again as I'm working from home. But something was off. There were 3 huge bodybuilder-like gentlemen escorting her to my home. I unholstered my gun and I beat them to the door. I locked it immediately, and through my doorbell cam, I demanded to know what they wanted. In the most sinister voice I've ever heard, I heard, clear as day, Jennifer utter, "We are here to claim our end of the bargain." Without warning, her 3 male escorts materialized in my house. Their eyes were a dark yellow, and they had faces of pure anger. Their teeth were all razor sharp, and their fingernails were long and sharp like claws. I took aim, and somehow managed to shoot all 3 of them in the head, and they dropped dead in my living room. I heard Jennifer growl and yell, and then storm off. I called the police and explained everything. When they arrived, the female officer who was taking my statement tried to reassure me the best she could. However, there was nothing they could do. The real estate company was nowhere to be discovered, and there was nothing in the police database about Jennifer. As for the growling and the yellow eyes, I mean, would you have believed me? After the police did their investigation and came out carrying the 3 bodies, the female officer gave me her private contact information. She told me, verbatim, "Everyone else may not believe you, but I sure as hell do. If you experience anything else out of the ordinary, I want you to call me on my personal line. I won't tell a soul, not even Jennifer." She paused for a moment to look around. "What happens in Vegas?" she said as she took off her aviators. She stared at me, pierced my soul with those same dark yellow eyes. "Stays in Vegas," before winking and walking away. I stood there, motionless and unable to speak. I don't think I'll be staying in Vegas any longer. It's been 3 months since the events, and I'm thankful nothing has happened so far. Jennifer, as I'm writing this, I want to tell you, I hope we never, ever meet again.